right, what's up, you dirtbags? We are here with a very, very special Dirtbags University coming out as a Dirtbags podcast episode. This is the first time in history we've ever done this. Normally, when we have Dirtbags University webinars, they are closed off. Nope, we don't record them. People pay to be there. They pay for a seat. We wanted to change it up for this one, and we thought, okay, what can we do to make it a little different, more accessible? Because what was happening is somebody would reach out to me 2 years later and say, hey, Luke, I heard you guys had Will Schuler on the webinar. Did you record that? I heard it was awesome. And we're like, no, that was ancient history. We don't have the files there. So now what we're going to do, this is a live webinar that we're recording. We can see everyone's beautiful faces in the room here. We're going to keep it interactive with the chat. We're going to have a Q&A after this session, and we are going to dive in on how to build your 2026 marketing plan. So if you're listening to this live right now, thank you for being here. I really hope this works out well so we can continue to do this. And if you're listening after the fact, please shoot us a message and let us know, because we want to see what your experience is like listening to it as a podcast. So I believe as this is coming out, this is Christmas. So Merry Christmas, everyone. And as we gear up and dial in for the new year, we're going to jump into it. But obviously, before we do that, we got to thank our incredible sponsors for allowing this show to happen. This is for Dirtbags University, for the Dirtbags podcast. Massive shout out to our friends at SludgeHammer, Eljen, of course, Charlie Huff, the insurance legend, and Phaser Marketing. Just a shameless plug, had to throw them in there. Without these sponsors, this show wouldn't exist. And we continuously will invest the revenue that we make from our sponsors, from the listeners, back into the show. So I'm going to grab it real quick. I just bought a really cool Rodecaster Pro 2. I was showing James this the other day, but this is what is going to be the future of the Dirtbags. One sec. Now, right now, it's just an expensive paperweight, but once you guys help me figure this thing out, this is going to help us do live shows. So when we go to Con Expo, we can plug in 4 mics, 4 headsets. We can do live shows. It's going to plug in and provide better sound for the show. But what was really cool is we purchased this and got it last night through the funds from Dirtbags itself, from the show. So thank you to our wonderful sponsors. Thank you to all you guys listening for using our sponsors. And of course, liking and subscribing to the show. Spotify hasn't sent us our deal yet, but with the reviews climbing up, with the impressions climbing up, we're sensing a Joe Rogan experience type deal coming in the future. So super excited to dive into it here. We've got our beautiful presenters, Joe Casey, our business development manager at Phaser Marketing, and Colton Creer, our digital strategy manager at Phaser Marketing. Both of them have been in the construction industry and are currently operators as well. So we wanted to put together this presentation for you guys in a podcast format. Any questions you have throughout the episode, drop them in the chat. We'll answer them at the end. And then make sure you stay for the end, because we do have the wheel spin. We have a $200 gift card giveaway sponsored by Eljen. And then also I threw a couple doubles and triples in the wheel spin. So we'll see if we can rank it up from there. So without further ado, Joe, Colton, everyone else in the chat, everyone else listening, let's dive into it.
Awesome. Exciting, guys. Super excited to be here. As Luke gave me that gracious introduction, I'm Colton. I'm the digital strategy manager here, but I like to say chief nerd. I just like to deal with numbers and all website related stuff. And you can see I'm playing with wrenches sometimes there too. Heavy equipment operator for Glacier Snow Management out of Fargo, North Dakota as well. So yeah, I like to think I know a couple things, but not enough. Let's dive right into it though. So where can you start with this digital marketing plan? Right off the bat, one of the easiest ways that you can start with your digital marketing 2026 is fully optimizing your Google business profile. So local SEO is huge for all service-based businesses. Right away, you're going to want to start, claim, and verify and update your name, address, and phone. Now, you're going to hear me say NAP a bunch here. That's name, address, and phone. Those are the three big indicators of your business. You're going to want to crucially fill out the services section completely. You're going to want to add 10 to 15 high quality photos of your best work, and then add ones that showcase your recent work. So before and after photos are gold on there. Going through here, I use Phaser Marketing as an example, but right there on the left picture, you'll see your business or your Google business profile. If you are a manager of that, you'll see your business on Google right at the top there. And you'll see options to edit your profile, read reviews, photos, posts, performance, advertise, edit products, edit services, bookings, Q&A, ask reviews, and profiles. When I was talking about services there, you're going to want to edit your services. So you'll click on that and you'll get that next drop down where you'll see that area to add a bunch of services. Now, everything you do might not be on there, but you're going to want to find something as close as possible to that. This will help Google index you for those things in those map packs. So when people are searching for excavation near me, you're showing up higher on there than your competitors who don't do this. Your name, address, and phone can be used in that edit profile section. And then a couple other things you're going to want to do is add posts, right? You're going to want to add Google Business Profile posts that are targeted towards keywords of your services. So whether it's trucking in Washington, whether it's excavation in North Dakota, you're going to want to make sure those posts include those keywords naturally. And you're adding high quality images with those. You're giving people CTAs, so call to actions, the ability to click, go to your website, call you super easily. Adding photos is also super easy too. In that back section, there was an option to add photos. You can just drag and drop images right in there. You can drag and drop folders. Selecting those is super easy. And you just want to make sure those are high quality. You don't want to double up on them as much as possible. So you want to make sure you're adding fresh images. So when Google's indexing them, that it does look like you're not just duplicating, because they don't like duplication. Duplication is not good in Google's eyes. So we're going to want to stay away from that. Well, on Google Business Profiles, systemizing your review collection will be huge here. So if you have a simple service, if your CRM includes this or your invoicing software, to send out automated review link right after you do a good job, right after you do something you're really proud of, just send out a review and ask for 5 stars. You know, it might feel a little weird just asking people for reviews, but it really does go a long way for your local SEO. Oftentimes we'll see profiles with the 100 reviews ranking much higher than the ones with 4 or 5. So it just shows it's a trust signal for Google. It's a trust signal for users. It's good from both ends. And you're going to want to respond to every single review and even the bad ones. You're going to want to let people know what happened there. If it was a bad review, or you're going to want to thank people for their good reviews. It just gives people more of an incentive to continue reviewing. So you want to target Google Local Service Ad, or LSAs is what we call them, if available to you. So it's not available everywhere. You're going to want to run Google Local Service Ads. They're Google guaranteed. Luke, you got a question?
Yes. Sorry to jump in here. Colton, you're doing an excellent job. We had a question from the crowd one slide back. Mr. James Stixma, the fisherman, Canadian Septic, he asks, how important is it to add captions to photos uploaded to the GBP?
Yeah, that's definitely important. Good call, James, asking about that. So that does help. That's an indexing indicator for Google, and it helps Google understand better what the images are when you do add a caption to it. So it likes to think it can look at your images, but really it can't. It just pulls data from the images. So good question, James. Adding captions is huge. Back to LSAs. So they're Google guaranteed. That means you pay only when a customer calls or messages you directly through the ad. So you'll dispute non-qualified leads and you'll get reimbursed for ones that aren't qualified. So any spam calls, anything like that. This will show you the difference here between local service ads. So the one on the left, those sponsored businesses one, those are local service ads. You can see the Google guarantee right there with that check mark there. And then the organic listings are the ones on the right. So that's the normal map pack, which has separate ranking ones. Moving on to some more local SEO stuff. So nailing your local SEO citations. You're going to want to make sure your NAP, your name, address, and phone number is cohesive across the web on different directories. So Google is just one directory, but there's also Apple Maps, there's Facebook, there's Yelp, there's Bing, there's Foursquare. Yahoo has their own, Nextdoor, Yelp. I said Yelp, but a bunch of other ones. And just making sure that you have your correct name, address, and phone number on there indicates to all of them that you are who you say you are. And there's just a few more there, but those big ones are in the front: Yelp, Facebook. So this is another big thing that you can do. You can partner with complementary trades. So you can make an arrangement with 3 to 5 non-competing professionals. These can be adjacent industries. And you'll pair with companies who can help you out. So let's say excavation pairing with plumber, landscaping, or electrical. By doing this, you can send each other referrals for clients, and you can do my favorite thing of getting backlinks on each other's websites. Backlinks are big for SEO. And that's just linking out from your website to their website and them doing it back to you. Another big thing here is pairing paid ads with SEO strategy. So ads and SEO are two separate strategies, but using them together is how you are going to yield the best results. Ads will give you that immediate visibility and those quick wins right off the bat, where SEO builds your authority over time and lowers your long-term costs. Together, they create a flow of leads that stays consistent month after month. Next up, this is a big one, and I'll probably nerd out a bit here, but AI search. So backlinks are huge in AI search. It's one of the biggest indicators of trustworthiness, authoritativeness. Google likes expertise, authoritativeness, trustworthiness, and experience. So showing those things with backlinks, so trading backlinks with other sites to point as an authority in your space, showing that people are linking to you, people are going to you to find information from where they're pulling sites, where they're pulling other things. That's always huge. Luke, I see you raise your hand.
Yes, sir. Question on this. Talk to me about AI and how it is shown in search. Is it different than SEO? I know there's obviously Google, AI, there's ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini. Are they different? But also we see Google AI overviews. Like, what's the difference? How do you show up? And how is that different from SEO? If you can dive into that a little bit as well.
I sure can. So the AI overview shows up on your normal Google SERPs. The AI overview is pulled from usually the top 3 websites, but you can see it'll pull from different ones. And that's just to give you a quick answer on whatever question you're asking. It pulls similar to normal SEO, whereas LLM search, or so ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Google Gemini, those use a different thing called, it's like an authority index, where it tries to show you the best answer possible for your certain query or search term. They're very based off of who's searching. So they use your past data to show your answer. And it usually pulls similar to Google. It uses authoritativeness, expertise, but the biggest one that one uses is experience. It's looking for real world experience. It's looking for people who have actually done these things. So they're creating content where you give information that is real world experience is a big thing. Pointing towards, we did a job, but like we did a job here and this is what happened. So you can get really down into those, what we call long tail keywords. So there's short tail keywords, long tail keywords, and long tail keywords. Short tail keywords are things people search, such as excavation near me. Long tail keyword would be excavation in Whitefish, Montana for utilities. And a long tail keyword would be a super specific search on a problem someone's happening. So I have a I have a drainage problem in my backyard. How do I correctly drain the water to get it away from my foundation? Something like that would be what we would call a long tail keyword. So that's where LLMs pull their data from. They're looking for people who've answered those specific questions, whether it be from social signals, whether it be from your website, whether it be from other outside blogs you may have written. So this is where we get into cohesive brand strategy, making sure all of your marketing channels are pointing to that singular brand identity. Everything kind of points towards showing you as an authority in the space. So when you're posting on socials, AI search pulls from all content on the internet rather than the index, where Google has only its index to pull from. AI doesn't do that. It'll pull from everywhere to see what it can show you to make sure that it's most optimized for your user. So authority signals, and you're going to want to just show that you're an authority in these topics. And you do that with your cohesive brand strategy. So across all your marketing channels, just showing that you're answering these long, long tail keywords, that you are the one who people should go to information for regarding whatever situation they might find themselves in. Did they do some DIY plumbing and now you have to, give them a little advice how to fix that? Things like that. Luke, was that a little bit more clear?
Yes, that was amazing. And I want to go one step further. When you're doing keyword research, which we've all heard of with
Mm-hmm.
SEO, is that the same with these AI overviews? Like, how do we know the visibility of what we're ranking for, and how does that come into play in a strategy? So let's say somebody listening does keyword research and knows where they rank for waterline installation or waterline installer near me. How do they know where they rank on these AI models or LLMs?
So they don't really give us that data, unfortunately. It's not out in the open and it's a little bit harder to nail down. But there are some tools that do offer what they would call web scraping, but in the form of LLMs. So what they do is they just prompt it to ask 900 questions based off of whatever you said, and then it gives you the data based on that. But currently, we have Google Search Console for Google itself. ChatGPT doesn't offer anything like that, and Google doesn't offer anything like that for LLMs. So it's a little bit harder to nail down, but a big way that we like to do it is just questions people already are asking you, FAQs, things like that, answering those. Because if people are asking you guys this while you're on the job site, while you're doing these things, odds are they've searched something a little bit that they're more embarrassed to ask you about than they would have asked you, They're not going to let you know they created the drainage problem. They're just going to ask you how to fix it. Moving on to your website. And James, I'm glad you're here. I used yours as an example for this one. So making sure your website has clear CTAs. You want to make that phone number or call button easy to find. And you're going to make sure it's responsive on both mobile and desktop. These things are going to be huge just for your website in general for performance issues, UX. And then a lot of people just use mobile now. That's what they use. They don't go on computers as much anymore. So making sure that your website is responsive for both is going to be big for your overall marketing strategy. Internal linking is going to be one of your best weapons here to let web crawlers understand your website. So having the links easy to find, having them easy to navigate, having them linking out correctly will be huge, because giving Google the tools to index your website is going to make it easier to rank on Google. And we can see that ChatGPT is starting to pair with Google for its index, but Google's kind of fighting back. So we'll see where that goes. But as of right now, they're kind of duking it out.
Joe, before you jump in,
Yeah.
Colton, we just talked in the chat. That was unbelievable. Joe, what I want to do here is before we jump to your presentation, I want to throw a couple more questions just so we can unpack what Colton presented there. There's a lot of information. If anyone has a question, drop it in the chat. Colton, I do have one from James that I'll throw out here. So it's a great question. I've heard it before, and I do know the answer here too. So it's been changing. But he asked, does having the location function enabled on your camera help with ranking? So as an example, like a photo is taken in New York, will that help you rank higher in New York? And James, as a simple answer, no, it won't. So it's been a myth, it's been busted in the SEO world, but Google doesn't take a look at that data. What it does is, as an example, I could take a picture in Arizona and have that rank in New York. So it doesn't take a look at that data, but it's a great question because it has been a myth in SEO for some time now. And
yeah, what Google puts more weight to is something called metadata. So for each image you add, you'll add your own caption there. So what Luke could do is take a picture in Arizona and be like, cool cactus in New York. And Google's kind of dumb, so it wouldn't know that there's not a cactus in New York, and it would love that because it would just index it for if anyone ever searched cactus in New York.
All right. And we had another, this is more of a statement. I would say more of a call out on your character, but Luke
I
Linehan,
saw it.
okay, our guy, I'm just going to say it so the people listening to the podcast can hear the attack on your character here. But Luke Linehan says you can't do the 9 dogs in 9 innings. And for those who don't know, that's the 9 dogs, 9 hot dogs, 9 beers in 9 innings of baseball. And back in my day, they didn't have the pitch clock, so it was possible. But nowadays, Colton, is that possible at your current state?
I don't know if I want to speak on that. I know Mr. Linehan did see me fail that challenge. I think I made it 3 innings before I gave up, so I didn't even get close.
What's your strategy? I mean, do you start all hot dogs, like 6 hot dogs and 2 beers, and then
I think I did 3 hot dogs in the first inning and then just sat on it. I don't think the strategy was very good.
That's the last strategy you want to do is sit on.
I'm better at digital strategy, Luke. I'm not good on hot dog strategy.
Oh, I love it. Also, Wade Norris just jumped in the chat here, so this is great. If anyone has any other questions, drop them in the chat. Get the hot dogs from IKEA. They're tiny. I didn't I didn't know IKEA had hot dogs. Is that a thing?
Can't be.
James, can you unmute yourself? Did you put the wrong
So
store
Costco.
here? I mean, are we talking Costco dogs or IKEA dogs? Oh no, James, you're muted. Well, we are going to.
Guess we'll never know.
I see his mouth moving, but nothing's coming out. So, sausage balls we're going to go with from Chris.
All right, I got it.
James.
I was going to say the IKEAs up here have very small hot dogs. The Costco size hot dogs can confirm they're the same size, so I wouldn't be trying that challenge with those. But I think we can do it with the IKEA ones.
And IKEA hot dogs comes with an Allen wrench and some wood pegs, I bet.
You have to assemble the thing yourself, yeah.
Anyone could do it, though. Oh, man, that's amazing.
With the pitch clock timer, that might slow you down, though. You got to assemble it.
That's fair.
Timmy Hortons, do they have hot dogs?
Oh, I don't know. That food's terrible. No, they don't. No hot dogs, not yet. Don't give them any ideas.
Oh, I love it. I had my Timmy Hortons experience when we were up visiting James the other day, and got us the little donut holes, a couple black coffees at 9 p.m. It was awesome. Okay,
looks like we got another question, Luke.
Okay, from Glenn. How long does it take for Google to take and update your rankings once making some of these changes? And Colton, we can probably answer this in 2 parts, from a Google search side of things and then the Google AI overview. Back on track. Thank you, Chris. Stop talking about hot dogs and beers and IKEA.
Yeah, so the rule of thumb with Google, 3 to 6 months is what you should look at for any changes. They could index them the next day. That's being really optimistic of me, but it'll take a while for them to kind of index it, parse your changes, and then get you some good ranking data there. So 3 to 6 months. As far as AI, it's kind of all over the place. Some people say it takes a couple days. Some people say you need to have high quality content for a very long period of time. I've seen both. So that one's a little bit hard to nail down, but rule of thumb, Google just said the other week that good SEO is good AEO. So try to stick with what they say. So I'd say 3 to 6.
All right, we got a question from Batman himself out in Gotham City. Are there any other platforms on which we should list our business on in addition to Google? And Colton, if you don't mind touching on just the market share here, but this is a great question because obviously there's other platforms, Bing, DuckDuckGo, Google. Let's unpack that.
Yeah, we always use Google as kind of the crown prince because they hold 88% of all search. And that really hasn't wavered even much with LLM search. So Google's kind of the crown prince there, but Bing is always somewhere you should add right after. They're number 2. DuckDuckGo listing is always good too. There's always a decent amount of search there. After that, it gets kind of weird with like Yandex and I can't even remember the Russian one, but yeah, just the Google and Bing are usually the 2 you got to hit. And a lot of the times they'll actually just pull the data from Google. So they'll just grab it right from it and add it for you. But making sure that because they're not really good at pulling data, you should check and make sure that it aligns with what your business actually is.
Yeah, and Glenn, I would double down on that and say, if you're working with somebody that is on top of your digital strategy, then I think it makes sense to go to other platforms as well. But if this is just you trying to put this together, like Colton mentioned, if they have 88% of the market share, like focus on that and you will get what you need. So, it's not a bad thing to go to these other platforms, but it's really your percentage of focus should be on Google, as Colton would say, Queen Google.
Queen Google. How to review?
Okay, looks like Glenn had another question for you, Colton. How do reviews play a role in the rankings? I feel like I get more calls and action when I get reviews, and this would be on the Google business profile.
Yeah, big. It's super big. It's kind of the number one thing you can do from after you get that name, address, and phone updated, and you start doing those posts and do everything else. The reviews are huge because it's just a big trust indicator. I mean, Google's all about trust, or at least they say they're all about trust. So making sure you're the most trustworthy possible. And if you got 150 5-star reviews or 35-star reviews, anything more than just like 4 is good. So, just getting those in is really, really good and huge for local SEO.
Yeah, and Glenn, I would say this too. The number one thing you can do isn't hiring a marketing agency, isn't optimizing your website, isn't blogging. It is getting Google reviews on your Google business profile. That is the number one thing. And also those are separate. So your Google business profile works in conjunction with your website, but they rank separately. So and I know we'll kind of dive into that a little bit as well, but there's maps rankings, there's your GBP rankings, and then there's your website ranking. And so obviously we want to be ranking for all 3 of them. But at the end of the day, if you're going to focus on one, and if you're balling on a budget, focus on Google reviews, work on that Google business profile, even above and beyond looking at your website or even building a website. So that's where I always start. And that's where you're going to see a lot of your traffic on your calls and even your messages. All right. We are going to go to James Steiksma, the Decal King. Are there known differences in the demographics of people between search engines? Good question.
So they technically can't give us that data, but not really. It's just people just kind of use Google mostly, but you can't really tell the difference.
Yeah, the only thing I'd say is maybe DuckDuckGo, you get a lot of conspiracy theorists, but
yeah, DuckDuckGo will not share any data at all. So
Yeah.
I mean, allegedly, but who knows how that
good
works.
question. I feel like we need to dissect that and do some research because when social media, absolutely. I mean, we all know what Facebook is compared to a platform like LinkedIn. So definitely different demographics there. Let's see here. Dylan, welcome in from Red Run, our guy. Tony Moritz Excavating asks, what if most of your customers can't give reviews? And this is because they are, their customers are typically big power companies. A lot of it's has to be confidential. A lot of the photos can't be taken on site. Colton and Joe definitely pipe in here as well if you want. How do they get reviews working with clients like that?
So one strategy you could do is Google's just looking to know about your business. So anybody who could speak on your business and speak that you're actually who you are, you're good at what you do. So friends, family, they can, give you reviews on Tony's a great guy. And he does great work and 5 stars. So that's one strategy, just kind of getting anyone to just give you a review. I mean, they don't have to be someone who's worked for you. It's got to be somebody who can speak on behalf of your business.
Yeah, and Tony, what I always like to say too, especially guys that work with commercial contractors or GCs, where it's really awkward to ask a GC for a Google review. Typically, we would just say ask it for a Google review for anyone that can attest to your character. So that could be any vendors you work with, any office people you work with, anyone that you pick up materials from, friends, family, anyone that can attest to Tony's character at Moritz Excavating as he's running the ship. They can write you a 5-star review, and that typically breaks down that wall of, man, I don't want to ask this giant client of mine who has these NDAs because they're just not going to want to do it or laugh at me, but really asking people outside of that circle, and you'll start to see that those build up. And the nice thing is in this industry, you don't need many to stand out. And so I just like to section it off of, first of all, getting to 10, hitting double digits, then getting to 25, then 50, and then 100. So usually just setting goals and going on these sprints. And then we usually like to tell our clients to offer cash to their team to get Google reviews. And so if they're on site, sometimes they'll surprise you, like, oh, I'm surprised you got a Google review out of that person. But when there's cash on the table, people are incentivized. So that's usually a good way to do it as well. All right. So Colton, thank you very much. Everyone in the chat and everyone listening past, I hope you guys enjoyed that presentation from Colton. We're going to open it up for more Q&A after our guy Joe jumps in here. Yeah, thank you guys for all the suggestions as well and all the questions. Please drop a 1 in the chat if you enjoyed that first session. We are not going to take an intermission. We're not going to take a bathroom break because we got Joe Casey in the waiting room, getting powdered up, ready to go. So without further ado, and Colton, you see all the 1s in the chat. Those are for you. Thank you for your time tonight, putting in overtime. I mean, just absolutely crushing it. Hope your boss gets you something nice.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me nerd out, everyone. I love nerding out. So
yes, that was unbelievable. So Mr. Joe Casey, our business development manager at Phaser Marketing, brought him on March 10th, 2025. He's completely taken over. He does all our sales at Phaser Marketing, does all our business development with me, helps out with the podcast, helps out with the accounts receivables, like everything, you name it, Joe does it. He also has experience as an operator. When I called him to offer him the job back in March, he was hauling snow in Minnesota in the skid. So just the perfect guy to be presenting the second half of this amazing Dirtbags University webinar. And before we get to Joe, I almost forgot, we have new Dirtbags t-shirts. So we have 4 new styles. These can be found on our Phaser Marketing website. I think I have them all on there, but what we're doing is if you want to buy, or we're saying collect all 4, you can buy all 4 for $90 or $30 per shirt. So they're all on the site right now. It's shop.phasermarketing.com. We have a Dirtbags University shirt and then 3 Dirtbags podcast shirts. So jump on there, get your shirts. And then we also have these sweet hockey jerseys that I need to get ordered and get on the site. So without further ado, we're going to bring in the man himself. He goes by Joe Casey. Joe, take it away, my friend.
Thanks, Luke. I don't really know how to beat that introduction myself, but I just want to say, what's up, Dirtbags? It's been a long time coming that I've been able to say this on an official Dirtbags webinar or podcast. Like Luke said, I've been very behind the scenes, watching for a long time, looking at every episode. So it's just a dream come true to be here. A little about me, like Luke said, I'm from Minnesota. I actually adore the cold. It makes the summer a lot better, a little bit more enjoyable. But a little bit about my experience. My dad owns an excavation company, so I've been working with him all my life until I could leave for college and not work with him anymore. From there, I did some work doing hardscaping, equipment operations, snow removal down in Mankato for the Mavs out there. With that, obviously, the one picture of me on the job site that I have ever is me eating. So to Luke Linehan's point, I could tackle that 9-dog challenge. And the only reason I didn't at the Twins game is because I got called away on business to throw some dice as part of a promotion, which I won.
Sounds like a cop-out.
Cop-out, I had 5 dogs in that first 2 innings. If I was still a young man, I could have had at least 9 beers. But I would have been on the ground for weeks after that. So, and like Luke said, I work very closely with him in our sales department. With pretty much everything that he touches, I get to work on with him. I've never been told I'm a very personable person, so we're hoping that we can at least shore up this second half. Obviously, we're going to be a first half team with Colton's presentation, but we're going to try not to blow the lead here. So, want to get into it. A little bit about some things you can do off the internet, non-digitally. Big one here, making sure that all the equipment you're running, it's clean, everything is in working order. We don't have busted out skid doors, everything's working properly, and that, we have branding on there. It's professionally wrapped if that's something you want to do. Getting yard signs in all the job sites. Um, Same thing there. We're trying to build that brand awareness, these rotating billboards, as it were, making sure that people know that you're doing great work. If we're doing bad work, maybe don't have that on there, but we want to showcase that we're absolutely killing it with the work that we're doing. Sending out thank you notes. People obviously appreciate being thanked for getting to work with them. You can obviously milk this a little bit more. You can have your review request link in there that people can go right to your Google business profile, drop you a 5-star rating. You can put some offers in there for any repeat business or incentives for some referrals for new business. Sponsoring local events, youth sports team or charity drives. I'm glad to hear that Wade hopped in here, big sponsor of the East Duplin high school football team, the man himself. Always love to see that people are getting engaged in the local community. Obviously, we want to build a brand that's translating offline and making sure that people see you care about the community you're working in. The fun one, and this is a lot of things we see with septic companies, but offering some branded magnets with customers, maybe even a check the date for when your pumping needs to be done again, reminders there. And then the door hangers, same as the yard signs, is letting people in the neighborhood know that we're in the neighborhood, we're here, check out our work, and you're going to want to hire us for the same thing. And then direct mail, getting the word out, hitting whole neighborhoods, specific areas. We got a couple specific ones that we like to use. If you want to get really crazy with it, we'll definitely talk about that too. So case in point, a little bit of the dirty wraps for our boys out of Bell Construction out of Oregon. First of all, like I said, it's a walking billboard. It moves around everywhere you go. It doesn't sit in one place. We want to make sure that this is looking good. And frankly, it just looks badass. Why would you not want to show this off, roll around the street, bring this through the parade come 4th of July? So if that's something you're interested in, definitely get the wrapped equipment. Make sure you're showing off these beautiful logos, beautiful equipment, beautiful work you're doing. So like I said, we're going to talk about a little direct mail. We use a couple different things. Dope marketing is great. They have some really awesome targeting that they can do. It's really nice. You can filter it out for if you're looking at homeowners, you can filter it by the house value, how big of a lot someone's sitting on, the year the house was built, seeing if they need additional work done. You can do it by the age of the homeowners, and you can even separate it by expected income for the household. And then another one we have that we use, it's called Modern Postcard. It's really just they put a little tag on your website. They can track people that come in, and then you can set certain qualifications. Like we have it set to when people go to 2 different pages on the website, they get a postcard if they have their address tied to their IP. So another way to easily target people, Luke said once to me that someone was checking us out and they said the next day they had a postcard right at their house talking about it. It might sound a little scary, but I think a lot of people think it's pretty cool.
It's awesome. Come on.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. I mean, we designed the postcards, so they're pretty slick. And then every door direct mailer. This is pretty simple, actually. You can set this up yourself with the United States Postal Service. They have all the information on their website. It's fairly reasonable to do too. It's less than $1 per piece. And you can set it up to hit specific neighborhoods you want along postal routes. So this is something that you can definitely implement yourself too. Couple pics of 2 of the ones. So dope marketing here on the left, you can draw specific shapes. You can do a radius around a whole town. I was checking out Arizona once and I did Phoenix. I drew a little map around everything but the warehouse district so that we could get that dialed in, stay away from the warehouses there and hit up some homeowners. And then on the left here, for Modern Postcard, we can see what state we're primarily sending to. Obviously, we have our roots up in Minnesota, but it seems like Florida and California are really catching up with them. And you can even see specific zip codes. You can track the results and conversions through it. It's a lot of great tools here that can help you make sure you know where your dollars are going and get the word out in a pretty cost-effective way. Now we're going to talk about some social media. Obviously, I'm not asking anyone to be a content creator or a streamer here. Obviously, the big thing here is just being consistent with your branding, making sure your colors and your logo are on point. You're putting that out whenever people are seeing your content. We have that on every piece so that people know exactly who's posting. Some simple things we like to recommend. Easy video to make is a 15-second before and after of the project you're working on. You can do this on your phone. It doesn't have to be high value production, just showcasing what you do. And the same thing with just a selfie style video. It's a big thing we recommend. People want to buy from people, not companies. So making yourself as personable as possible is a great way to get people to engage in your content. With that, we want to educate people that are seeing you. Obviously, people fall down the rabbit hole that is social media. So you want to educate them on questions they might have, questions they didn't even know they had. Give them the information to know that you're the authority and know that they can find answers on your page. And then probably the most fun part is just engaging with people. Obviously, people are leaving comments, hyping up your work. Give them a shout back out. People love to feel like they're a part of something. We want to engage with the audience as much as possible, build that brand. Luke does a great job of, talking to people online, building these connections and fostering that goodwill. And the main thing here, let's keep it simple. Let's have some fun, keep it authentic. We don't want to recomplicate this. I'm not a big fan of my personal social media, but I love posting on the Phaser social media because, great audience and we can keep it easy and we have a good time with it.
Man, I just got a straight compliment there and woke me up. And that was awesome. Thank you, Joe.
I might have been rambling a little bit. I didn't even know I did that. But I do want to give a real shout out to our boy, Zach Miller at SBS. He's really on point with his branding, always has his logo on there, keeps the colors very consistent, keeps the fonts the same, and he does a great job with this and gets a great word out, showcases what he's doing. And then obviously we want to make this booking process, getting quotes out as simple as possible. We're trying to cut out as many places for people to fall off in the process as possible. So like Colton said, on the website, we want to have your phone number super accessible at the top that people can just make a call right away. We want to have a good call to action on every page, sometimes multiple. And then we want to make sure that if there's an online form on the website, it's simple to use. People aren't going to have to fill out a ton of different things to get a quote or get some information from you. And the nice thing is you can connect this with your CRM so that you can have all the data there, get all the responses, and even automate the process so you don't have to do as much manual work. Another shout out to our friend Joe Uran at Nordic. Obviously, he's got the phone number right at the top, the contact button, and a great, simple form for name, phone, email, and services, even the option to send a message. And he can see where people are coming in from, if people are referring him. It's nice to be able to give a shout out to people that push business your way. So make this as simple as possible. We don't want to overcomplicate this. We're not reinventing the wheel. Email marketing is another opportunity that we have to get in front of people, hit these touch points to warm these potential customers up. Two of the ones we recommend that are super simple and super cheap. MailChimp is free to use and Constant Contact is super cheap as well. You can templatize this, set it up so that you can see all the results of people that open, that click on it, that convert from it. So you get the analytics and you get all the emails out in a pretty simple process. Big thing here is just dialing in your contact list. There's a couple different ways you can find contacts. But once you do get that, you want to have some processes in place to nurture these people, obviously being informative and authoritative and gaining their trust so that when the time comes, you're right there and the first person they're thinking of. And tied into that is, building your brand with these people that didn't know about you before, build this audience over time, and make this list pretty much your lifeblood, something that is going to make you money down the line for a pretty small investment. And tied into the quote process, but your sales process, if we can make this as systematic as possible, we want to repeat the good things, leave less room for the bad parts of the sales process. We're going to have a lot better results. Obviously, a lot of this comes down to tracking, knowing your numbers on what your close rate is and how we can fix this up so that we can get a higher number and more return. So a lot of people definitely want to make some common objections, maybe a few cop outs. So it's always good to have a few go-to responses for this, something that's easy, quick to pull off the top of your head and, kind of squash those claims before they even become a problem. And then we want to set up a funnel for our leads. So with that, you have your top of your funnel, which is, ice cold leads that don't even know about you. We want to figure out how to set up the follow-up cadences to warm them up. We have our bottom of the funnel that are just waiting for a small breeze to push them into closing. And we have everything in the middle. Obviously, we want to identify who is in what part of the funnel and then how we're going to get them to the bottom and get them to convert. And the biggest thing here is speed to lead. When people call, answer the phone. And if you can't answer it, call them back within 5 minutes. Statistically speaking, if it's less than 5 minutes after the first call and you call them back, you're 20 times more likely to get them to convert. That's because they're still looking. They haven't obviously made a decision in that 5 minutes, hopefully. And it shows that, you're the quick response. You're the person that they should talk to. And most people don't really want to go through the hassle of looking through a bunch of different quotes and want to just go with the first person they talk to. And obviously we're looking to show value in everything we're doing here. And what's going to set you apart from these fly-by-nighters, the people that aren't around for the long haul, the people that aren't building for the long term. So providing the value, even if you are a more spendy person to go with, we got to show why it's the right call and why they're going to get the most value working with you. So how does this work? Obviously, you can do this on your own. Colton shared a ton of great insights on how you can take some of this and implement it in your own business. We can do it with you. The way we do that is I can do a full report on where you currently stand on your digital presence, what's going on with your socials, how you're ranking on your Google business profile, what your back-end metrics on your website are looking like. Or if it's just something that you have no interest in working on, we can just do it for you. We do this every day with 98 different companies across North America and Europe. And I also found out Canada is in North America. Thanks, James. I appreciate the geography lesson. And, we do this work every day. We have all these systems dialed in. So if it's something that you just want to wash your hands of, focus more of your time on growing the business directly in front of you, we can handle that process. So drop a 1 in the chat if you just want a free report from me. I can shoot that over. We can talk through what the details look like there and try and point you in the right direction. But awesome. Love to see that. I will reach out to everyone that dropped a 1 in the chat here with the full report. If you want to talk with me about, getting Phaser to do your digital marketing for you, we're offering an exclusive $1,000 off our startup fee between now and January 1st. January 1st, we have a new price and new service rollout. So we can lock that price in for life at our current $18.95 a month if we get a deal done before Jan 1st. But otherwise, definitely want to hear some questions, anything that the group has to say.
Heck yeah, Mr. Joe Casey, thank you for doing that. And as he mentioned, guys, if you want to drop a 1 in the chat, if you want us to do a deep dive on your online presence for free, we're doing that for anyone that's on the webinar. And as he mentioned, we will take the transcript from this. we will reach out to you guys after and get that scheduled in, and we'll show you heat maps of kind of where you currently rank and where you rank against your competitors, but also show you, what leaks we see from your online presence and where we suggest to patch them. So drop the one in the chat if you want to get that report. And then I had a good question here from my man Glenn, man, MVP right now. So, and I suppose this would be a Colton question, probably on the auditing, I would say. But he asks, how often do you run reports for your current customers? Is it daily, weekly, monthly? Like, how often are we auditing the account?
Yeah. So we do 2 separate audits each month. So we do our weekly audits. So technically it's 4 audits, but we do our weekly audits, which are just smaller, making sure everything's good, checking over everything, getting some eyes on the back end where don't look. And then we do our monthly audits, which are deep dives into the websites, checking functionality, make sure everything still works, looking for just random things that you wouldn't normally look for when you're just looking on a website. So we do those both for your website to make sure it looks good.
All right. Heck yeah. And then Joe, because obviously you get to talk to a lot of contractors every single day, actually. Let's take an example here. So a contractor that's listening right now, could be live, could be after the fact. They do $1 million in revenue. They've had some success, but they're looking to break to that next level. What are a couple of the main things you look at or recommend for them to break to that next level?
Yeah, a lot of this is just dialing in how you're presenting yourself online and the community. Like I said, getting that branding on point, showing that, first of all, you're a great person to work with and work for, but you're also, professional. You can handle these big projects that are going to come up when you're taking these next steps, and pretty much showing that you're an authority in everything you do.
Yeah, and Chris said it perfectly. It's like when your online authority is working, when people are finding you, they give you a call, answer the damn phone. I mean, it is amazing. And I know a lot of you have told me this too, that sometimes you'll get the call and you'll get the work because nobody else would answer or call them back. And so just some of that simple organization, we hear it all the time from Brian and Sam with Anderson Septic. And when Sam is answering the phone, the people are shocked on the other end that there's a friendly voice answering the phone that can work them into the schedule. And they have a CRM and they have a booking system, and they track their time and they know where their trucks are at. So just starting from the basic simplicity of answering the phone, but then as we've talked about, there's layers to it. You can have a CRM. I know a lot of you guys mentioned you guys are using Jobber, which is a great, very easy, very simple. I saw House Call Pro. There's tons of CRMs out there. Service Titan. We have our own simple CRM that we're launching for our clients in January. It's called Dirt Dev. It just does the basics of really building out your pipelines, being able to track your leads, being able to track your applicants that are applying to work for your company. And that's all it is a CRM. It's there to organize your customers. It's there to organize your relationships. John said, and shout out to John Conti. He was just on the Dirtbags podcast. We have a celebrity in the room right now. Answer the phone and show up on time for the quote. It's crazy, right? It sounds basic, it sounds simple, but it really moves the needle. Okay, perfect. So I don't want to jump into the giveaway quite yet. Joe, thank you so much for that presentation, man. Really, really appreciate you doing that. What does your deep dive look like when you go through that strategy session?
Yeah, for sure. Through Dirt Dev, we have a prospecting tool that allows us to see a lot of what people are doing on the Google side of things. So how many reviews they get, what the average response time to those reviews even is, heat maps of how you're showing up in your local area. We can turn that down to a mile radius. We can turn it up to 50 miles. So we can check how you're ranking in the local community. And with that, I also take a look using our tool called Search Atlas at the back end of your website, how performance is looking, whether you're ranking for keywords or not, if you're having organic traffic come to the site. I also take a look too if there's any back end issues that are dinging your scores, hurting you. But I also look through the visual side of it, what the user sees, and just make note of any areas that we can improve and shore up any weaknesses.
Gotcha. Yeah. And I know both you and Colton mentioned it too, but the non-digital marketing activities are just as important as the digital marketing activities. So how do you balance that while, I mean, obviously working for a digital marketing agency, but how do you balance that with our clients? And Colton, you can jump in here too, making sure that it's not just on the digital side, because if we only focus on digital, it's not going to work. But how do you balance that of the non-digital versus the digital?
It's a tough one because obviously the word of mouth is how a lot of people get to be these big companies. And obviously, we don't want to go away from having strong, qualified people recommend you to other good, qualified people. So, really just banking on the fact that you've gotten this far from, the great work you're doing, being personable. Now we just need to push that out and showcase it to people that don't know about you already. And add a few different ways that people can find you. Like I said, with these roaming billboards on the truck on the job site. I know Wade has a physical billboard that we're looking at. So getting out there in front of as many people as possible, getting that brand picture stuck in their head so that when they need this work done, you're the person that pops in their head.
Yeah, 100%. And Colton, we just had another question come in here in the chat. We sell a wide variety of landscaping projects ranging from 10K to 300K jobs. There's only so many hours in a day for estimates and visits. Is there something the marketing strategy team can do to bring in more qualified leads or disqualify bad leads and qualify calls and messages? High level, I'm tired of poor customers calling. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we would just have to position ourselves as that. If we're aiming for those higher end, jobs, those 300K jobs, or anything in that range, there, even a bit lower, positioning ourselves that that's the type of work that you want to be doing. We don't necessarily want to, push away work. It's always a good problem when you got to turn it down because you got too much. But making sure that we're targeting the correct customers would be what we would do there from an ads perspective, from an SEO perspective, just all together.
Yeah. And typically what I would focus on here is how can we disqualify quicker? And a lot of times that is shown by your website, but also by the questions you ask them. And ideally, and you guys have probably noticed this if you've ran a campaign on Facebook with the Facebook form, if there's 3 questions on there, you get a ton of junk leads and a ton of spam. It's because you're not disqualifying them because anyone can automatically fill that out. I'd almost compare it to if you put out a job on LinkedIn and people just do the LinkedIn quick apply, it's too easy for them to do it. So, Glenn, what I would do in this situation is try and disqualify. So asking those questions and what you can do, and I won't go through it too in depth, but basically having a trap door or a qualifying question that has if you're asking for their budget, right? And if the budget is low on the form, it drops them to a different sequence or a different workflow. And then if it's on the higher end where they could afford you, then it goes to into your inbox. So you would take a look at that. But a lot of times too, like if you look at our Phaser marketing website, because we had this as well, and there's nothing wrong with people that can't afford your landscaping services, but we put our pricing on the website. This is a big topic right now of, for one, you show up in Google and the SERPs and the AI models. But 2, you're educating your client before they purchase. And I know that in construction and in landscaping, to your point, it's hard to dial in that number without getting on the phone with them. But there's a sense of educating them of what some of these things might cost. So what we would recommend is doing a range and doing having some disqualifiers on there as well. So I would definitely take a look at that. And okay, yeah. So James just messaged me on this too and Glenn brought it up earlier, but the pricing calculator. So there's a lot of talk about this, and Colton, I know I'll throw it to you because we're testing it in a few areas, and a lot of people are nervous. Like, what if it scares away customers, right? And I think it's close to the right question, but is it scaring away the bad customers, right? Or is it scaring away the right customers?
Yeah, and my point there would be you're not going to scare away the right customers, right? People, you do high quality work, so it's going to cost more, right? So you're going to want to giving them that option to just see what their range could be would definitely just disqualify those tire kickers right off the bat. Give us another step to go through. As Luke was talking about, just disqualifying the tire kickers, disqualifying the people who don't actually want your work, and just getting those people through the door so you can focus more on them rather than wasting time on unqualified leads.
Yeah. And one other strategy too is typically if you're running a paid campaign on social, usually you don't want to use the native form. So whether it's Instagram or Facebook, if anyone's seen our ads, I'm guilty of it. I do it sometimes, but typically you'd want to send them to a landing page on your website. That way you can really hone in. They have to read a couple things. There's a video on there, and then they would fill out the form on your website. But then it does a couple things. Like they're on your website, so there's a retargeting pixel on there so that you can start to retarget them in your ads. But also, if you're running modern postcard, like Joe was talking about, they will get a postcard 6 days later from your business because they were on your website. And you're also disqualifying them because your questions now are on the website. And so ideally they're learning more about your company. They're learning more about your prices. They see your equipment. They see what type of company you are. And that can build the expectation of how much this is going to cost, because some people truly do want the fly-by-nighter. And obviously we don't want to work with those customers. And so we need to try and eliminate them through the journey, because, and Joe and I do a lot of tracking on this, but we would rather have 10 leads that are 8 of them are qualified rather than 100 leads with 8 of them being qualified. And it makes things a lot messier. And then your CPL, or your cost per lead, is going to go through the roof there. So when Facebook sees that you're getting all these leads, they don't know if they're qualified or not. And so what we want to do is minimize that to show Facebook we only want the qualified leads, and that'll help drive your cost per lead down. All right, sweet. Joe, Colton, anything else?
I don't know. I think I poured my heart and soul into that one. Got nothing left in me. No.
Right.
If anyone has any additional questions, feel free to shoot me a text or a call at 775 Dirtbag, official Dirtbag hotline number.
Sweet. Yeah, we officially got a new phone number. It is 775 Dirtbag. Feel free to shoot Joe a text on there, and we'll also see it as well. So we're going to wrap up here. We're going to do our giveaway. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for diving into this webinar with us, this first Dirtbags University that is live, that will be recorded and put out as a podcast. The only people that can win this giveaway are the ones that are here in this room. We are going to drop an LFG in the chat if we are ready to go. Thank you, Melissa. And thank you, Eljen, for sponsoring this giveaway on Dirtbags University. Here's what we got on the table. We have a $200 Amazon gift card, and this is what happened. So as you guys heard on a couple episodes ago, Charlie Huff had reached out to me, our construction insurance legend, and he said, Luke, I want to give away this $500 Volvo Lego excavator that is a remote control. And I'm like, all right, this is going to be amazing. So we gave that away a couple weeks ago. Our guy, Dusty Neal, won it with Dusty's Dirtworks. He's going to be putting that together with his family. And it's like 2,400 pieces, and it's remote control. So he's going to be putting that together, and we're going to be sending updates on that. Fast forward to today, Eljen reached out and they said, Luke, we saw what Charlie did. We want to help out as well. We want to do another giveaway, especially during Christmas time. Times can be tough for people, and we want to give back to the industry. So they said, put us down for a $200 Amazon gift card. So I threw that in the wheel spinner. I put all your guys' names in there, took my name out, and we're going to spin the wheel. And I also threw a couple doubles and triples. And if we hit a double or triple, we are going to respin double the amount. I'll probably have to cover the double, but we're good there. And we're going to end this on a high note. let me know, Colton and Joe, if you can see my screen.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here we go. So without further ado, to end off this live Dirtbags University, posted as a Dirtbags podcast, I've got mostly everyone's name in there. You must be present to win. So once I spin it, if the person's not here, we're going to respin. And if we hit a double or a triple, we're going to triple it or double it and then respin it. So here we go. Drum roll, please. No way. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Is Dusty here? Oh, my gosh. We're going to get fired for this. Is he here? Oh, he's not here. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Thank goodness. So Dusty Neal, as you guys just heard, won the $500 Lego set. Thank goodness he's not here because, okay, James, calm down. Quit throwing popcorn at me. Doing the best I can here. You saw me spin the wheel, right? That was not a recording. So we are going to respin it, or we could just be done for the night. Drop a 2 in the chat if we should be done for the night, or a 1 if we should give the money to me. Okay, couple 1. Okay, 3, couple 1s in there. All right. 67, a bunch of 3s. James, thank you for the 1. All right, we're just going to go ahead and respin. Okay, looks like I am outed here. Melissa is actually helping sponsor this, so I better respin it. So back to the wheel. Sorry, Dusty. I'm going to remove you, and we're going to spin again. All right, Joe, Colton, can you see my screen? Can you see the big wheel?
Yep.
The Eljen wheel.
I can. Spin that wheel.
Spin that Eljen wheel. Here we go. Dusty is out of there. Let's do it. Get Luke Linehan's name in there. Put Luke Egerbrotten in there. Here we go. John McDonald. Let's go. Mr. Badger Earthworks himself. I just saw him a couple weeks ago in New Jersey. Is he still here? John, if you are here, we need you to unmute and confirm you are not an AI robot.
Yeah, buddy, I'm here.
Oh, dang it. All right, there he is. All right, man.
I'll send you some pork roll.
All right, sounds good. Dude, thank you for being here, John, and thank you everyone else for being here. John, I'm going to send you that $200 e-gift card. We'll send it to your email. Huge thank you to Eljen for sponsoring that. Thank you to all of our sponsors, Charlie Huff, Eljen, SludgeHammer, Phaser Marketing, and you guys can't thank Joe and Colton enough for being here. Please let them know in the chat if you liked it, if you appreciated them doing this, because I'm not paying them for this time. This is overtime. This is unpaid volunteer work. Colton, Joe, I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate you doing this for myself, for our company, but mainly for the Dirtbags University webinar, but most importantly for the construction industry and getting to publish this on the Dirtbags podcast. You guys put a lot of time into this. It'll be cool to have people rewatch this now instead of it just living in a locked webinar. So huge shout out to you guys. Colton, Joe, you guys deserve the world, and I really, really appreciate you. Can't wait to see you on our Christmas party on Friday.
Oh, big time.
All right. Let's see here. Let the messages roll in. Next podcast. So we have a podcast coming out this Friday, December 19th. We got the man, Matt Studi, on. Kind of acted as our Christmas episode there. This recording of this webinar will come out on Christmas, and then we're going to roll out a New Year's Day episode as well with Dominic Rosales, Poor Pumper Society, and we already got the January 6th episode recorded as well. So we're going to do our best to start pumping out some weekly content for you guys and try and get ahead of it. But seriously, thank you guys so much for being here. We're going to send everyone that dropped a 1 in the chat earlier. We're going to send you guys some info on doing that deep dive with Joe and our team on your online presence. But without further ado, thank you guys so much. That wraps up Dirtbags University, and we hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas and a happy New Year. Thank you guys so much. You're the best.